Yo, 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 welcome back to the New York live streams, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a very important day today. Man, Powell is speaking today at 3 p.m. GMT, just shy of the next 55 minutes. Powell's going to reveal the bigger story that we already know, which is already that interest rates need to move up, and they need to continuously move up just to bring down that sticky inflation in tonight's live stream. We're going to break it all down. What could happen before Powell speaks? What will happen when Powell finishes speaking? And what madness is going to unfold whilst he is speaking? What's happening right now is the market is absorbing. What if Powell says that interest is going to keep on going up and inflation is just going to be a problem for us and we need to rely on data? Now, we've got JOLTS job openings coming out tomorrow. So those would be what you call static news announcements. Once the data's out, the market reacts. But in today's news announcements by Powell, given that it's a speech or he's testifying, he's going to be fired a load of questions and investors are going to be waiting. Is now a time to trade? If you want to get emotional when it comes to trading, then you know what? The casino is open. That's the truth. It is advisable that you sit and wait to see what price does. Now, if you want to take a shot at the marketplace, that's on you. But you've got to be very careful when you are committing liquidity. Now, we are seeing a little bit of movement in the charts, but nothing to get excited about just yet. We won't be bringing no fire. Now, if you are new to the live stream, you may remember, or you wouldn't remember because you are new to the live stream. So, let's get the likes up. Mad love to anyone that is recently subscribed to the channel. Man, I'm getting this wrong. I'm just looking at the charts. I got some mad little movements happening. I got the book map up. I got exo charts. I got everything for you guys today. So let's get with the charts and let's break everything down and see what they are going to unfold with today. So let's roll. Here we go. In front of you, we have good old BTC that is doing nothing but just behaving in a compressed fashion, looking like a tuna can, all right? Not doing anything. We're waiting for news announcements. So there's no reason to get all excited about anything just yet. The suspension alone inside of this zone is making people think, oh, is Bitcoin going to go up? Is it going to go down? Most conventional traders will be drawing off patterns like this and trying to work out the second that Bitcoin breaks to the upside or to the downside, they will have their orders triggered, ready to go. The problem that we've got is we know the market likes to fake people out. So even if we do see price move up, people will be triggering those buys. Right now, the market maker in principle is absorbing all the liquidity, which brings me over to this bad boy over here, the book map. Let's have a look and see where we are in terms of liquidity. Now, if you don't know what this is a software, it is a premium platform. And what it does is it tells me where the liquidity is for the limit orders that are coming into Bitcoin by Binance. On the right side are the orders that are waiting to be filled. On the left side are the orders that have been placed, filled, and also cancelled, which we would understand to be spoofs. Now, as we zoom out, just to have a look at our context of where we are, we kind of see that we have got quite a bit of commitment down at the 21,900 zone. And in last night's live stream, we were talking about the 21,500 zone having roughly, a lot of liquidations in that area. So let's just quickly pull that up for a second. Have a look at the high block on the 12-hour chart. 21,500, we have around $236 million worth of long liquidations inside of that zone. Going into the 7-day chart itself, I'm just going to break that up for you. Here we go. We've got this area. Now, we've got liquidity all the way at 24,500. To all my people that may be listening to this on the move, we've got 24,550. We've got Bitcoin short-ordered liquidation points. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve is calling. Steve, it's been a long time, my bro. What's happening? Yeah, in 20 minutes, the market will open. Yeah. What you got for me? Nah, don't give me that BS. Please, bruv. No. I'm interested in up or down. Tell me where to go. Get rid of this. Okay, why? All right, just say up or down, bro. Just give me what I need, man. What do I pay you for, bro? Just put the phone down on me. What a waste of a guy. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Steve is it's a market maker friend that I've got. And he likes to call me whenever I go live. You notice how he just calls out of the blue now just before the New York opens in the sense of the futures markets. So he's trying to take the mick out of me, man. Anyway, going back into this, we've got the liquidation zones at 22,700 that we spoke about last night, which was roughly around $5.6 billion worth of short liquidations. And it's so close. Look at where we are right now. We're only $300-400 away from that zone, which would put us inside of this region right here at roughly, inside of that zone, which would be the vector candle recovery region right here, as you can see. So if we move forward, you can see red vector candle right there. Now, the principle would suggest that if Powell, or the anticipation of Powell, because remember, we have got still 50 minutes until the market is going to react to what Powell's going to say. In the next 20 minutes, we've got the New York futures markets opening, all right? Now, this red vector candle right here is a huge imbalance. And what do I mean by imbalance? All you need to do is go over to Exo charts and have a look. So we bring up Bitcoin on the CME futures themselves. Look at this area right here. There's too many gaps inside of this candlestick. And the principle says that when there is an imbalance or areas inside of a candlestick zone, which we would understand to be fast orders or where price had moved aggressively, we would anticipate that the market is going to try and retrace back into those zones. Now, the bigger question is, will it happen today or will it happen after Powell has a conversation? Now, a lot of people are anticipating Bitcoin to move up, okay? Now, the only reason Bitcoin could move up is if everyone is going long in this zone, then principally, lots of traders will be getting trapped with longs and price will spike up, eat the liquidation points for the guy sat at 22,700, and then try and pull price back down to make the same traders down below who are looking for movement to the upside get liquidated as well. Now, this is the problem. We don't have a normal trading day today because if Powell wasn't speaking, we would simply be waiting for the New York futures markets to open in the next 15-20 minutes, and then we would wait for the volatility to come into play. We would have a browse on what the news is saying, have a look. You can see that we've got Powell speaking today, and they are warning people, get ready for some choppy trading. And that's a bit of the situation we're in right now. Choppy trading is where we are going to end up. And all I'm going to suggest to you all, wait until the Brinks box completes. Now, if you don't know what the Brinks box is, this area right now, which is going to be forming in a few moments, it's actually forming right now as we speak. Let me go to the 5-minute time frame. Look at this. This area is the Brinks box, all right? Now, this is the first hour of the New York market. Now, at 3 p.m., that's when Powell speaks. So inside of this zone, we are going to see some manipulative plays. It can go down, it can go up, it can go down, it can go up. This is where they trap the traders. That's why I recommend to you all to just be cautious at this point. Now, if Powell does decide to say the obvious, which is interest rates are too high, interest rates need to go up and we need to start increasing the interest rates and we don't know how long for, the market is naturally going to react to that. So what we need to do now is we need to go over to the dominance of the dollar and have a look at where people's minds are at in relation to that. So we go to the Dixie, look at dollar dominance, happy days. Dollar has now made a clean bounce from this zone, but we got to be very careful here. Let's get rid of this. You can see that dollar right now is edging upwards, fully recovering the vector candles right here. Here we go. All these vector zones, recovering these points. Net dollar longs are coming in, which means investors are selling assets and they're getting rid of them and going to cash. That naturally inflates the value of the dollar. More importantly, when we've got assets like this, let's go to Aussie yen. Aussie yen. Aussie yen is one of the assets that they use for the carry trade principle. Now, if you are new and you're not aware what carry trade principle is, it's you go get low yielding assets, which is like the dollar or the yen. You then borrow that money and then go and exchange that money to a high yielding asset, which would be Aussie yen, right? So you exchange it for Aussie dollars. Now, with Aussie dollars, you go and buy stocks, you go and buy gold, commodities, and the principle says that when Aussie yen is going down, it means investors are getting rid of assets and taking back those same dollars that they brought Aussie with and exchanging it back to dollar, so settling any loans that they have. So you can see Aussie has been going down and the dominance of the dollar has been moving back up, suggesting that people are transacting on the dollar, which naturally is going to inflate its value because they're gaining more and people are holding more of it. And principle of supply demand would suggest that people are now holding more dollars, increasing its value. So we know they're getting rid of assets. We go over to the likes of the NASDAQ and you can see NASDAQ futures are looking very promising and wanting to look like they want to roll over, coming into that key 50 EMA on the hybrid system itself. And if we just go over to NASDAQ futures and we can see that they're getting very busy. This right here is the volume, or should I say it's the depth of market of NASDAQ. Now, if you are new to trading, this might be a little bit confusing, but the basis of it is this. You are looking for value, all right? Now, see down here, it says value area low. So right now, the market is seeking value at the lowest point. This is for Euro. Here's NASDAQ. So right now, we're trading towards the open of the NASDAQ 100 index. So that's where value is right now. We are still trading below the value area low. So what's happening now is participants, or the market itself, is trying to get traders' commitment, seeking where they can find value at the lowest area. And you can see bright as day that we have got this wild commitment coming inside of this zone. Everything looks like it's trying to sell off. And this is what we want to be mindful of. We want to be careful of the fast move that happens in the chart. And you can see NASDAQ takes a little bit of a nosedive and brings price all the way down towards the daily open. We've got 12,330 on the NASDAQ itself. I need to close that. I need to bring up Bitcoin for a second on the order book and have a look. Right, we've got some commitment right now, guys. What time is it? We're going into 3:15. All right, listen, I believe that we're going to see this certain price action. Prior to Powell speaking, markets are going to probably drop, all right? But at the same time, markets would likely look to move higher, all right? If they are going to say anything. Now, if Powell does say disinflation, then guys, everything is going to shoot up like crazy because inflation has been the problem. And if they give us the idea that inflation may look to come down, well, then that kind of gives us the stepway to understand that we might actually be able to reduce the interest rates, which means we could get closer to a terminal rate. But that's not what the narrative is, and we won't know until Powell speaks. Now, each of these little bubbles right here is a representation of delta, and we know that when red delta comes in, when it comes in aggressively and spikes lower, that's suggesting that people are hitting the bids. Now, the bids themselves. When price is a bid, this is the bid, and this is the ask, all right? Naturally, when the bid is dropping price, we understand it as sellers. Then, when the ask is being lifted, we understand it to be buyers. Problem is, it's the opposite because you can't sell if no one buys and you can't buy if no one sells, okay? This is the market maker model in principle. So when you're running longs whilst price is running upwards, you're setting yourself up because you are buying the short order that is being provided or matched against your liquidity or your position. So in other words, when you go long, market maker's going short. And you ever wonder why every time you open a position, it always ends up coming back into your trade or maybe taking your stop loss or hitting your break even? Because at that point that you decide to buy, thousands and thousands of other traders are probably doing the same thing, and they've all collectively put their stop losses in one spot, okay? Which is why we use this structure. We use this pattern. There's the rise, the retrace, and the continuation, okay? There's two ways to trade this. Now, you can trade this on the 1 minute time frame, the 5 minute, the 10 minute, the 1 second, the 3 second, the 5, the monthly, the yearly, quarterly. You can do whatever you want, whatever time frame. But remember, the smaller the time frame, all right, the sooner it will complete, but more likely to fail at the same time as well, okay? Now, check this out. You've got two situations. You either can take an advanced entry down here, or you could take a safer entry where you are relying on momentum to break through this zone. Now, it's this area here, inside of this zone, where retail can get trapped. Because if you decide to run along from this point right here, you would have realized the profit as it comes towards this point, which suggests that if the momentum picks up and lots of orders come into this zone, you'll see a little bit more movement to the upside. You kill the trade. You take the money because as it breaks out of this point, it will initiate a retrace, then a continuation up. So a mini version of the pattern, depending on traders' commitment. Keeping an eye on time, it's 20 past. So this is a structure that we like to talk about in the Patreon of the Market Maker tier itself. But The pattern itself has been the basis of this channel. We all look for this structure. You want to take a safer entry? You don't trade this pattern when news is playing because it can go up, it can go down, and it can shake you out. As a practice, just go back in the charts and try and see if you can find the pattern. Here we go. We've got one right here. We've got price moving up, rise, a retrace back into the 50 EMA. First green vector candle that appears above the 50 EMA, happy days to the upside. Now you can see it made that beautiful move up. If we, upon closer inspection, you can see this little pullback right here and notice where the pullback went to. So we come back out, we mark off that pullback zone. Look at this. See that there? So all the traders that went long in that zone got shaken out because on the principle of the rise, the retrace, the continuation. Now, if you went in for an advanced entry at this point right here, okay, you would have seen success. Your position would have still been in profit because you would have been in an advanced entry. So you would have been taking the risk sooner. And that's the thing. You take the risk sooner. If you've caught the right move, then you shouldn't be worried about the retrace that happens after they break out from that point. Now, if you look closer, you can see inside of this zone right here, retail gets trapped. They trigger their orders because when they look at the chart, they're thinking, oh my God, it's going up. I'm missing out on the move. They bring it back down. But you're waiting as a pattern watcher. You're waiting to see if it can continue back up. They hold 50 green vector candle on the 50 EMA, and then bang, they shift out. Retrace, shake out the trader that went long in this zone, make him hit his break even, get him frustrated, make him think that price is going to collapse, and then yippee-ki-yay to the upside. What reason would you have had to sell if you entered at this green vector candle? Where would your stop loss be placed? Your stop loss would be placed outside of the structure. So you would do the following. You would say, okay then, let me just take 50% of this move. Go from the low, go to the high, all right, to where they pulled up to. Now, 50% of this move will take us towards this zone. I'm going to place my stop loss either at the 50% point or at the 50% point, I'm going to change direction. So there's two ways you can trade it. Because if you're going to change direction, you'll be mindful of the fact that there is a green vector candle down at the lows that may look to get recovered. But if the bigger picture is suggesting that there's going to be movement to the upside and they spent a little while inside of this zone, all we have to do is look left to see what NASDAQ what orders NASDAQ took. Look left and you can see that NASDAQ triggered vector candle regions in here. And whenever they hit vector candle zones inside of this zone right here on the higher time frame, all right, whenever they hit a pool of liquidity, they are naturally going to bounce from it. Why? Because if you take something like volume profile, you're going to see that people are showing an interest inside of this zone. So that is an area where people stepped in and started to buy. That is an area where Mr. Market Maker decided to lift price. So with that being said, what can we anticipate from the charts across the board in relation to what Powell said? All right, let me just clean up the chart. I hope you are all doing well today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the likes up because we got some flavor happening very soon. In the next 8 minutes, we're going to have the New York live stream. Sorry, the New York futures. Man, Steve shouldn't have called me, man. He's really put me off. I don't like it when Steve calls me. I really don't like it. Okay, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Let's start breaking things down. So here we go. Going into Bitcoin right now, trading at below the 50 EMA, trading below the daily open. Now look, just look at Bitcoin, man. It's spike up, spike down. All right? Terrible ranging. It's in the psychological regions. As a rule of thumb, this area, psychological high, psychological low. It's the first high and the first low that is formed at the start of the week. Okay? Now, if you are new to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the live stream, let me know. Press 1, type 1 if you are completely new to this live stream, so I know exactly who my audience is. I know the pattern watchers are in here today. We got Helen, what's good? It's all on Tusky, Mitch, my guy, what's happening? Fast Money, what is good? Who else is with me? Mr. Dutch, what's happening? Andrew Cameron, what is good? I am glad to be back with these New York live streams. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be going on Frankie Candles. My guy reached out to me, so we're going to go onto that platform as well. We're going to check out Frankie Candles. So pattern watchers, make sure you go and support my guy. We're going to be having a conversation over there talking about price action, where we think Bitcoin's going to end up. Okay. And then there's another story. Anyways, moving on. The psychological high and the psychological low takes the first high and the first low. That starts at the beginning of a new crypto trading week. The problem that we have is Bitcoin hasn't come away from this zone. So principally, you're looking at the chart saying, hold on a sec, there's no movement. How am I going to know what market maker's doing in here? If he's trying to build longs or is he trying to build shorts? Well, price is flat. So because they haven't come away from that range, we have to tread with caution. Now, with that being said, if we take over the book map itself and we look back, We're seeing some more liquidity coming in. Now, down here, as you can see, at the 21,900 zone, an order was placed but cancelled. All right? That's got my attention. I need to be focusing on that. Why? Because that suggests to me, as a red area right here, as you can see, with it being red, tells me that there was large commitment, but it got removed. Now, sometimes we call these as spoof orders. So it could be the algorithm playing off traders, making them believe that one thing's going to happen against the next. What if that commitment comes in again at this zone? What if it's already there? And you can see Bitcoin wants to try and break beyond the 22,330 zone. And we've got some more commitment at the 22,200, which sits at 231 Bitcoin and then 437 Bitcoin. But down at 21,500, we have 925 Bitcoin that wants to get placed. Before that, at 22,000, we've got 517. So what are our ranges here? 22,000 on the nose, 517 Bitcoin. 21,900, 831 Bitcoin. And 21,500, we got 925 Bitcoin. Now, just because it's there doesn't mean it's indefinitely going to get triggered. What we're waiting for right now is the following. We are waiting for price in anticipation of Powell, which is in the next 4 minutes for the futures markets. But Powell isn't speaking yet. Another 30 minutes. I'm going to start looking at coins. I'm going to look at some forex, some more of the indices. We're going to have a look at the yields. We're just going to get ourselves ready for it. This is the problem that we're going to have. If you're going to try and make a decision based on this behavior, up, down, before Powell speaks, you're going to wreck yourself. You're just going to waste money and burn. All right? You're going to get yourself emotional if you are new to trading. You'll get triggered with emotions and you won't be thinking straight and you'll just be printing money for Mr. Market Maker. You'll be like, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, we do have vector candles down here. We've got wicks, which are suggesting that inside of here is commitment from traders to go short, to go long. What's Market Maker going to induce? Well, the futures markets are going to be opening very shortly. All right? And when they open, which is in the next 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, 3 minutes. How many likes have we got in the stream? 300 likes and 1,300 of you beautiful people are passing through. I don't usually ask for likes. I do say make sure you like and subscribe and play the YouTube algorithm, but show your love, pattern watchers. Let us know because we're going to get into the fire very shortly. I'm keeping an eye on the clock because this is where it starts to get a little bit tense. This is where it starts to become a little bit firesome. We're talking like a Kindle Fire right now. We ain't bringing the blaze just yet. So give me your energy, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to have some fun very shortly. So have a quick look at Euro, right? Euro right now is looking very promising on the idea that it looks like it wants to try and continuously break down. Again, that resistance at that 800 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, that 800 EMA on the 1 hour time frame will always be a critical point of resistance when you're in a bearish or a markdown phase. All right? That's why we don't think by price going up towards that point, it's now time to go long. All right? When the market is bearish, just look back and see how many times, well, Euro on the hourly, tap once, drop, tap once, drop. Why are the moves so aggressive above the 800 EMA? Because that's where people's mindset adjusts and thinks, yeah, baby, we're going to the upside. Because all we need is just an EMA cross. Congratulations, you've cracked the market. And that's quite honest, right? You can actually crack this market if you understand how to crack yourself. If you can manage this bad boy right here, the most basic trading strategy, you'll see success. Because how can you have so many strategies and yet 95% of players lose in this game? Well, we can't blame the strategy. Have you given it a fair sample size? Have you given it a fair chance to work? Here we go. We're going to, sorry about that, but we're getting into some price action. Let's have a look. Euro looks like it wants to make its way. So listen, if you are new to the channel, I might be speaking at some speeds right now, so I'm going to be bringing everything closer. So we have a look at the 15-minute time frame, see some volatility right there. Let's get the book map up. Let's bring our screens across. We know where the liquidity is right now. We're looking for this 21,900 zone where there is currently 989 Bitcoin. We're going to wait and see what happens. New York futures are on their way. Let's roll with the flavor. Here we go. Here we go. What have we got? It's pausing. 7 seconds. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we are. All right, then let's see what New York's got for us. Futures markets will be now opening, and all the overnight orders are probably going to get filled right now. So we're going to see a little bit of volatility, but it might be a little bit controlled because Powell will be speaking in 30 minutes' time. I'm just going to wait for the open to fully absorb. We're going to see a spike down towards this zone at 22,256. Big delta coming in right now. I'm waiting to see if this order is going to get cancelled at 991 Bitcoin at 21,900. Just quickly bring up that liquidity, 21,900. That takes me towards that point. There's roughly about $1.2 million worth of, well, $1.8 billion worth of long liquidations. That sits at the 2.7 billion at 21,900. Let's have a look. Will they go for that today? Let's have a closer look right here. Let me just bring up XO charts, have a look at Bitcoin futures contracts, have a look at the tick chart. I like to use the tick chart because I want to understand how aggressively priced. Here we go. We got some flavor. NASDAQ is now making a move. NASDAQ looks like they're absorbing price action already, getting ready to bring the flavor. Here we go. NASDAQ, Bitcoin starting to make a move. I'm liking this move by NASDAQ. Just keep an eye on NASDAQ over here, guys. We've got some flavor coming in. NASDAQ is acting very aggressive, coming down to the value area low. Previous day's value area low, working the volume profile right here. This is where the buys could come in because we've got interest in the delta right here. If the buys can't successfully take NASDAQ at 12,322, then there's a good chance that price could collapse lower. Bitcoin coming in right now, 626 Bitcoin at 22,200. There's nothing for us to do just yet because the market is absorbing orders right now. So we've got to sit tight, and this is price action before Powell speaks. I would love to see Bitcoin collapse, come down to that 21,900 zone. Is he going to take it? Is he going to eat it? 21,900. Liquidity is coming in at 836 Bitcoin at 21,900. They're now adding another 766 at 21,800. Be careful on the sharp moves. NASDAQ is leading the way right now. Let's have a look at the volume profile. It's moving in. I need to have a look at that. Volume profile of the candlestick right there. It's moving aggressively low. We're going down. We're hunting value in the NASDAQ. So we could get a little bit of a sharp reversal. Just be careful. They're trying to hunt for value right now. Looking at Bitcoin futures, looking closer there. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Delta's positive right there. They could reverse from here, so just be careful. Here we go. Look at that sharp reversal. Spike the liquidity. Come down to 22,200 and miss that 21,900 zone. Narrowly missing it. Look at that, 21,000 right there, and they're adding the liquidity. Now we've got 869 Bitcoin, and at 21,800, we've got 756 Bitcoin orders. So I need to go and have a look at what else is going on the NASDAQ. Sorry, Euro. Euro still continuing with its move down lower. Need to see what the dominance of the dollar's doing. Here we go. Dollar is still climbing up. Tesla, is it looking to fill that gap? Here we go. Gap down on Tesla. That's going to be a bit of a problem for the S&P itself. Let's have a look at the US 30. US 30 hasn't moved, so that's good news for us. S&P, where we at? S&P right there. Controlled movement. They're waiting for Powell to speak. Yields. Yields are holding out. This is important. Remember, the yields, if they keep going up, you get rid of everything, because if the yields keep flying up, that means they're getting rid of assets. Don't buy. You want to sell your assets. That's what the logic suggests. Now, yields are moving up 4.88%. Go to the 10-year. What we're seeing, looking like it's holding at that 3.9. If the 10-year goes all the way to 4%, ladies and gentlemen, then we know full fact that we're going to have a bit of a problem in the marketplace. Keeping an eye on the dominance of the dollar. It's coming back down to recover that vector candle. Oil right now looks like it wants to hold out. We're not seeing no movement just yet in the commodities. Going into the volatility index, we've got on the 1 hour time frame on the VIX, we are trading below the 20 zone. And what do they say? Above 30, if it's buy, if it's high, you buy. If it's low, you hold, or principally short, because the principle would suggest smart money concepts are getting ready to attack retail and buy up everything that is moving down. Okay, that's the principle right there. So we're going to wait and see what happens. We haven't had the main reaction that I want from the marketplace. So I'm going to load that bad boy up right there. Let's get some, let's just switch on our EMAs. And we don't need our sessions. Keep the daily open. Show that bad boy. Okay, cool. All right then. So go back into Bitcoin. What have we got? Bitcoin spikes lower, comes down, doesn't take that liquidity, man. So we've got to be very mindful. So the move has been premature, if I'm quite frank with you. There you go. NASDAQ instantly reverses back up. That is exactly what we anticipated because of them going into the value area inside of this zone right here. So if you manage to exploit that, happy days. But of course, Powell is speaking. If you wanted to take advantage of a quick play like that, you would have been going long inside of this zone. But let me explain to you a little quick strategy right here. This is what you call the V-shaped play. All right. Now, the V-shaped play in principle is a point in the chart. Here you go. Look, the Brinks box, manipulation at its best. Stop, hunt, rise, drop back down, green vector candle. You've got to keep an eye on this area here because it's an advert to suggest that they could come back down towards it. So just be very careful. This is the 1 minute time frame. As a scalper, this is what I'm looking for all the time. The V-shaped play itself goes like this. You are waiting for price to aggressively come down, create a vector candle like this, these two red vector candles, okay? Now remember, this is the 1 hour zone where they manipulate price the most, all right? Now, price is coming down, which is the first classification of the V-shaped play. Now, the next classification is if the red vector candle on the 1 minute time frame doesn't close at strength at the lows, it's suggesting that a reversal is coming into play, which then leads you to the green vector to come back up. You wait for the start of the next candle to aggressively come back into the chart. You have to pick your times because you've just now effectively traded the open. Okay, you can see what's happening. Bitcoin is moving back up, but we've got a test of the daily open, not just yet. We've hit the daily open once, twice, 3 times and rejected from there. If they reject from now, Bitcoin is going to rip lower because inside of this zone, they are able to grab interest from retail because that's where they can sell from. Why? Because that's where people are buying. So you ask yourself, where do you buy? Do you buy when retail buys or do you buy when market maker buys? You buy when price is dropping. You don't buy when price is rising. How many of you have gone? Type 1. How many of you have gone and brought a car? How many of you have gone and brought a house, a watch, a diamond ring, especially a diamond ring for the wives-to-be? And how many of you have said, please let me pay the price for a diamond ring that continuously increases in value so I can actually improve your commissions? You know, I want to pay you more in commission. Just give me that diamond ring or the gold ring that's going to increase in value. The guy's looking at you thinking this guy is a wet flannel. He's a wet fish. Why would he be saying that? And why would you be doing that sort of action in the marketplace? And it's all about getting a better feel for when you are trading. Now, however long you decide to trade, whether it's 1 minute time frames, 5 minute time frames. I mean, look, here we go. Let's have a look at the 5 minute time frame for a quick second. All right. We've got this V-shaped play coming into play. It's actually now played in, but now we have got a huge imbalance on the 5 minute time frame. Now this imbalance is this wick. There's liquidity down here. There's adverts, traders that have been triggered to go short on Bitcoin, and now they're paying the price. All right. Go back into the book map itself. What time are we on? Oh man, 25 minutes. Go back into the book map. Here we go. What have we got? More commitment coming in at 21,800. Notice now at the 21,900, there's not that much liquidity, so the orders have been spoofed. They're now moving them lower. Further down, what have we got? 21,500. They're still maintaining that 942 Bitcoin orders at 21,500. All right, so let's just roll down a little bit more. Down at the 21,500, still got the same area of commitment. We are now trading below the VWAP. Now remember, the principle of the VWAP suggests that when price is going above, when price is above the VWAP, this is where institutional traders like to sell from. And when it's below, it's where they like to buy from. Now, this manipulative play right now that's happened with Bitcoin, is it getting it set up for Powell? So let's look at the logic. Was now the last time that the market in principle absorbed buy orders? Or should I say market maker, trapping traders to go short and then reversing price back up to start attacking some of the liquidity to the upside up here? Because the top side target today could be 22,700 because the logic suggests that there's now $5.7 billion worth of short liquidations. Now, let's see if many people open shorts inside of this zone. Let's see if they actually come in. 5.7 billion. There you go. $5.9 billion worth of short liquidation. So a $200 million worth in principle has come into Bitcoin in terms of shorts. So those guys are paying the price right now. Those short orders are being triggered on the 100x. Now we're going to see if Bitcoin's going to finalize and recover this wick. We're going to see by the principle of the V-shaped play, because you can do it reverse, V-shaped play, A-shaped play, whatever you want to call it. But look, they're coming back towards that green vector. If they come back towards that green vector candle, then we would understand it to be a manipulative play. And then Bitcoin goes back into its range from that point. So this is where you've got to pick your spots. All right, let's go and have a look at what else is going on across the board. Euro is just bleeding out, suggesting to me that the dominance of the dollar is coming into play. Vector candle recovery on Euro. Let's have a look. What is wrong with NASDAQ? There's nothing wrong with NASDAQ. Let me show you something. NASDAQ is doing its usual routine, its usual flavor. Okay, right now, let's just bring it up. Right now, NASDAQ is going up and recovering imbalances in the chart right here. Look what we said earlier on about NASDAQ. We said that they were coming into value area lows where naturally we expect them to hunt for value. And once they've achieved it, we expect reversals to happen. And bang, your NASDAQ shifts out back to the upside at the open of the New York futures market. So they initiated a stop hunt low and then reversed back out. All right. Now, all we've got to be aware of, guys, is don't even ask the question as to whether or not Bitcoin's going to go up or down. I'm giving you clues as to what could be happening. Remember, Bitcoin is a little bit delayed with its movement. Euro is going down. We've got a green vector candle down here that could be a point of an imbalance. We've got the psychological low down here where we know that that's where they can trigger traders to buy from, all right? That is a vector candle that we would assume would likely get recovered. But Euro is going down. That means that the dominance of the dollar is moving up. That means traders are seeking the safety of dollar. Now, all you've got to try and work out is how long are these traders going to be seeking the safety of the dollar for? That's where you exploit the movement. Look at the blue vector candle right here on the dominance of the dollar. Look at the green vector, but from the dollar. Sorry, too much fire right there, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Sorry for anyone on the headphones. Now, green vector candle right here at the daily open. That happened yesterday on the euro and it shifted up. The same thing's happening right now with the dominance of the dollar. And that's telling you what? People are getting rid of positions. They're getting rid of cash. Now, we look into the chart of the dominance of the dollar. How long can we expect dollar to keep on going up for? So check this out. Look left. What do we see? Do we see any vector candles? We see a stop in volume candle zone right here where they last sold from. If dollar breaks this area here, 104, there's a good chance that dollar's going to keep on maintaining this move to the upside and completely rip the range. Looking at gold right now, gold. Those diamond rings are kind of cheap right now. Those gold rings are kind of cheap for the misses right now. Now would be a great time to pick up gold because it's dropping. That's what the principle suggests. I'm not saying go and buy it, but the principle does say that we've got vector candles down here that we would naturally assume price is going to try and take at some point. Well, we've got Powell speaking, so the volatility that's going to be presenting itself could bring gold there because they're already giving us the heads up that they are concerned about the economy. But remember, once Powell starts speaking, one indication about the terminal rate, anything about a pivot, anything about disinflation, the market will simply reverse and shoot back up. So do you see why now it's literally a head toss, a coin toss, head toss? What's this guy talking about? It's a coin toss on the logic of what can happen next. If this was nothing to do with Powell and we had nothing, no news announcements coming out, you'd be able to exploit this and keep trading. But you're waiting for Powell, and that's what the market's waiting for. And the markets have to always continuously move, and they're treating it as a major news event because Powell's going to say, yep, we're screwed. Yep, we keep increasing interest rates. And if they give any insight into how long they keep increasing them for, the market will react to that as a terminal rate. Because Powell could turn around and say, we're going to keep increasing them to the end of next year. Okay, terminal rate, end of next year. That's what the market would take it as. He said disinflation not so long ago, and the market shot up. So you're there questioning as what else could he say? Here we go. Let's go into Bitcoin. Let's have a look at what it's doing. So go back into the 15 minutes. Let's go to the 1 minute time frame. We're getting closer towards that green vector candle. Yep, this is good because it's consistent with letting us understand how they stop hunt rise and then they bring it back down. Could this be the setup to drop price? Now, as always, 3 p.m., the market will make the move. And I'm going to wait literally to the last minute because I have to go and pick up my daughter. And no lie, that's what I do. I have to go and pick up my daughter at 3 p.m. from school. So I'm giving myself 20 minutes to get there. So once the news comes out, you're going to see some flavor. Principle is showing me that Bitcoin is trading below the VWAP. And this is the VWAP for the past 36 hours. All right. Now it's all going to get quiet. It's going to be sideways for a little bit. Give me some of your coins and let's check out what's going on in the altcoin market. And before I do that, let's actually look at where the liquidity is right now for the altcoin market. Here we go. So altcoins right now on the 1 hour time frame. This is a good little practice. You're looking for altcoins, okay? Now, you're looking for altcoins that are below or above the 50 EMA. Look at the logic. If the majority of altcoins right now are trading below the 50 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, NASDAQ's making some interesting moves, okay? So naturally, we're going to look for altcoins that are trading away from the 50 EMA on the idea that if it shows support inside of this zone, then the majority of altcoins are going to come back and test the 50 EMA. And we look the daily open, majority of altcoins are testing or moved away from their daily open, okay? So let's have a look. APT, here we go. Whatever coin comes up, And I see I'm going to go with it. APT, what we got? Nice little structure right here. Coming out. This is a classic. This is where it can go wrong. Look, this is an example. We like to look for patterns like this, okay? We go for a W formation. That is in principle what we look for. So the next concept is that if they can hold this zone and break out, happy days. Now remember, if the market reacts to the news and it's not favorable, the market will react. And then they could actually drop price and collapse to the downside. It invalidates this W formation, but it solidifies the logic of a bigger pattern that is forming right here. So you've got drop, retrace, continuation, lower. So you're now waiting to determine whether or not this area right here in APT is going to form itself to move higher or get ready to collapse and eat the final vector candle zone in this area. Keeping an eye on NASDAQ right now. Give me your next coin. Here we go. Quarter two. Here we go. What we got? What have we got? STX. Let's have a look at STX, USDT. I'll get some stacks. Here we go. Stacks behaving like gold right now, looking exactly like gold. Okay, so we have got 0.68 trading below the psychological low. That's a good sign as well. NASDAQ is making a nice move. I just need to quickly go over to NASDAQ for a quick second. Have a look at NASDAQ. I need to keep an eye on NASDAQ because it's giving me some flavor right now. Here we go. NASDAQ moving up. Yeah, I'm not seeing the break just yet. This is on the futures markets, holding out. Okay, we can tolerate that and be patient. All right, then. So let's go back to... Let me just go back to that. MT4 main. All right, then. Again, so stacks. Let's have a look at that. STX, crypto, happy days. STX, USDT. All right, go back into that. Cool. All right, then. Man, I need to get rid of those. Vector candle zones. We don't need the vector candle zones right now because I know where my vectors are. Happy days. Okay, cool. So, trading right now at the 69 cents. Liquidity down below. This is the issue with altcoins. Although altcoins like to move alongside Bitcoin and what have you, it's a very volatile asset, it looks like. And the vector candle down here could take it to 49 cents if they do invalidate the 800 EMA. But the 800 EMA seems to be acting as a very important point of interest where they last moved from. So it's very important that you're aware of this area, because if you start running shorts into an area that it can actually turn from, then you're going to end up getting trapped where the same retail trader went short, and you don't want to do that because that's where they're going to reverse. All right? Give me another coin. Here we go. XRP. XRP. Good old XRP moving up right now, which is good news on the hour time frame. Let's have a look at Bitcoin for a second. Bitcoin coming up and not getting over that VWAP just yet. I'm not interested until Bitcoin can break above the VWAP, retrace back into it, continuation to the upside. Okay, let's just have a look at XRP for a second. XRP leaving vector candles, still trading below the 800 EMA. And this is something that you want to be careful of as well, guys. Let me just get rid of all these lines I've got right here. Get rid of the M levels, tidy up my chart, show weekly high, lately low. Happy days, get rid of that and get rid of that. Happy days. Cool. All right, then. So what you've got to be aware of is, Tino, what have you done? Let me start again. Traders. It's all good because we got to kill time for Powell. Happy days. All right, then. Let's just leave it like that. XRP. Now, coming up into a very important zone, as you can see. Testing the psychological high where it last came from and sold in that area. Now, look, XRP, when it moves, it really moves. All right? When it holds, it plays this tricky game of spiky price action. All right? Now, what I'm looking for is once Powell finishes his conversation, I want to make sure that I've got my logic is correct, that if this area is a point that they sell from, cool. I need to look further up to see how aggressively they sell from this area and look to the next zone and see how aggressively they sold from there. So then I look here and I can say, all right, psychologically, I know that this area would be the next logical point for price to come and reach, all right? Because at that point right there, price completely tanked from that zone. So we know that there, in principle, is an area where they can induce buyers and trap traders and then rip price to the downside. Are they going to pull the same color here on the 800 EMA on the 1 hour time frame? This is what we're looking for, okay? Now, with that being said, I need to get rid of this bad boy. Sorry, I'm just being very fussy right now with my charts. Okay, give me another coin. What we got? YCC. Let's see, USDT. On Bybit. I like this. It's trading nicely. EMAs are flat. NASDAQ moving up. Yeah, EMAs are flat right now, suggesting movement, staying inside of the psychological areas. That's consistent with what we need to be seeing right now. Let's go over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is now going back up into that zone. Not really doing much just yet. Looking at USDT for a second. USDT is edging upwards, but we got this gap right here in the chart where a lot of Bitcoin was sold, and we would assume that they're going to try and eat that. Maybe 50% of that zone, all right? Maybe half of the commitment to come back in, test, and continue back up again. All right, let's have a look at VRA. What time are we on? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. NASDAQ being very treacherous right now. VRA moving away from a very important zone, fully recovering the wick. This is another thing you want to be mindful of, guys. Look for the recovery of the wick, okay? Now, all inside of the Patreon itself, these are the strategies that we talk about, and if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. We do daily updates, give an update for the Brink session in the New York markets itself. We talk about exo charts, bookmap. We just give you a bit of a deep dive in the Patreon itself. So if you haven't done so, go check that out. But more importantly, if you are new, be sure to like and subscribe. Where my likes at 600 likes and 1,500 of you are showing mad love in the stream. That's free of charge. So just like the stream. Let's get the engagement going. I've got your comments right here. Gala, what you saying? USDT. Let's have a look at Gala for a second. Moving back down. Rejecting that area again, that same principle of where they sold from inside of this zone gets triggered up here again. So these are the things that you got to look for, because there's no indicator out there that's going to tell you psychologically when someone is in the mood to buy or sell. All we can look at is what price previously done at that point, and based on the probabilities of confluences that come into play, whether it's a moving average, whether it's a bearish market, that's what we're looking for. We're looking to put them all together, because trading is probabilities. When you start adding emotions, then probabilities are not probabilities anymore. You add emotions to probabilities, that's where it becomes a gamble. When you keep emotions out and focus on probabilities and sample size, which means that you use smaller size to test your understanding of a certain strategy or any marketplace, you improve the odds of not getting into that emotional state, which is going to cost you money in the long run, which means pay yourselves when you do make a profitable trade, and then understand why you are profitable in that trade. Next coin, Veil USDT. No, I'm not going to see any liquidity on that one. Let me have a look. GRT, graph token. Here we go. What have we got? Moving down. Notice how all altcoins are pretty much doing the same thing, staying below the 50 EMA. And we look left and you can see there's lots of liquidity for them to come back into. If this is going to be like a little pump and dump, it's going to likely come back into these vector candles, possibly at the 012 zone. Now we're getting closer and closer to Powell, guys. And I, of course, need to go and get my daughter. So we're going to try and keep this one short and sweet. Here we go. Let's keep an eye on this. So let's look at Bitcoin. I'm going to split the chart, bring Bitcoin into that. Right, so we've got Bitcoin on the time frame right here. I'm really going to be focusing on the dominance of the dollar, right? See, the dominance of the dollar is a little bit tricky, because sometimes what it likes to do is if the news is bad, it will spike up, all right? Then it will spike back down again. So we've got to be very cautious with this, okay? Now, still a little bit more time. Yeah, I need to look at bookmap, see where the liquidity is coming in and out. Bitcoin still below that VWAP right there, guys. Let's have a look at the bigger picture on the VWAP. Here we go. Right. 21,900 still. Well, okay, so they've canceled some of the orders. 21,900. They've taken off 400 Bitcoin. They may have moved it higher, because now at 22K, we have 500 Bitcoin orders at 22,000. All right? But there's still 536 Bitcoin at 21,900. Looking above, I'm not really seeing the commitment just yet. But you can see at 22,800, which is consistent with the 22,700 short liquidations, which sits at $5.9 billion worth of short liquidations at the 22,900, would suggest that that is where players are going to start offloading Bitcoin at the best possible chance. Because remember, sell limit orders are above, buy limit orders are down below. Okay? Now, okay. 21,810 has just had a big commitment coming in. 798 Bitcoin at that point. Okay. 545 at 21,900. It's staying static. We've got another 1,000 Bitcoin at 21,870. This is where it's going to start getting interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the charts ready for the movement. Dollar dominance on the right. Bitcoin in the middle. We're going to see the flavor coming in very, very shortly. So here we go. Dollar dominance on the right. Remember, when the dollar goes up, it's a problem for Bitcoin. Bitcoin might not react straight away, but you can see they're spiking orders up, but we're still inside the psychological areas. Don't trade until we know what Powell says. Once the news comes out at 3 p.m., I'm going to wait literally a minute or 2 minutes because I have to shoot as fast as I can to go and get my daughter. So where we at in the live stream, 1,500 of you beautiful people, mad love and respect for that. Let's get the likes up and let's see. Actually, I'll tell you what. If Bitcoin can break above the VWAP successfully, it's just come to my mind. They've just started to trigger liquidations, all right? So that could be the prompt that we're going to see a little bit of volatility very shortly, all right? In the next 2 minutes, the markets are going to move, okay? Keep an eye on NASDAQ over here. And you're going to see very closely, NASDAQ is going to bring some flavor. Here we go. Let me just bring this shorter. NASDAQ is going to get the bigger picture of things. So I'm going to reduce that right there. This is where we're going to see. So Bitcoin in the middle right there. Just want to keep it, if you can see it ever so slightly. Happy days right there. Tell me if you like that. Do you like this format, this structure? We got dominance of the dollar on the right. Bitcoin bookmap in the middle. NASDAQ futures on the left. Here we go. Looks like it's coming down. We're seeing some sell orders coming in. They're picking up buys in principle. Got some commitment down here that I want to be seeing on the NASDAQ. But it's going to get interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to this bad boy. 4 minutes, 9% high. Could you imagine? Look, back in the 70s, when interest rates flew up to 15%, you know, it was a bad time then. And now people are getting all messed up on 5%. The only reason it's going to be a problem is because tech stocks and growth stocks themselves, it's going to cost them more money to do business. That's what we understand about interest rates. Now, when corporate debt gets refinanced, it's even going to be even worse because that's going to get pushed onto the consumer. And how do they push the cost of business? Increase costs. And what's increasing costs going to do? It's going to increase inflation. More jobs means more people have got the ability to go out, work, and spend money. Higher inflation. We're just trading the logic of macros because that's what we're in. We're in a macro-driven environment. Big order coming in on NASDAQ. We're going to see some flavor in a second. Here we go. Bitcoin orders coming stacking in. 1,081 Bitcoin orders at 21,870. They had that previously. That was about 500. Now it's gone to 1,081. 539 Bitcoin at 21,900. This could be a very important point. If the orders don't hold and they cancel straight away, so keep an eye on this area here. If they disappear, then there's a good chance Bitcoin's going to shoot up. But it's all going to be based on what Powell says. Forgive me. That's bad news, man. Don't even cough like that. But look, right now, it's a coin toss. That's all it is. And this is what we're waiting for. This is not your normal New York Live. I mean, FOMC, where it's a continuous conversation or it's the federal funds rate, the market reacts accordingly. But they're expecting something different from Powell today. And he's going to regurgitate the idea that business is going to cost more money. Inflation is still a sticky problem. He won't ever admit that the Fed is wrong about anything. That's one thing for sure, because that's going to kill the trust in the Federal Reserve, because these guys are managing the monetary policy of the US. And if they say, yeah, we kind of got it wrong, bro, do you know what I mean? It's not going to be a good story, okay? Here we go. We got a minute. We got a little minute right now. Where are we at with the chat? Mad love to everyone passing through. Thank you very much for hitting the like button. 800 of you have liked the stream. Mad love and respect. So this is the moment of truth. What have we got? 2 minutes, or minute and a half. And remember, guys, next week it's daylight saving, okay? So I'm going to be adjusting my live stream. So my guys in the UK, it's going to be happening sooner next week. But I'll give you guys the heads up on that. So let's get with the flavor. Here we go. Right. Keeping an eye on this commitment down here. Canceling orders down at 21,800. They're getting rid of it. They've just got rid of 50 Bitcoin orders on that. It's going down. It's going down to 1,027. Static orders at 21,810. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. In the next 60 seconds, don't put yourself in a position to be opening trades right now. Don't set a position above or below because they could trigger it and it might work in your favor. Happy days, you made a bit of money. But if they trigger it and then they reverse it back down again, you're in a bit of a pickle. Now you're losing money. You don't want to be giving money to Mr. Market Maker. Here we go. So NASDAQ on the left is getting very aggressive. I can see from the order book itself, we got some flavor coming in right there. Moving away towards the open itself. So we're waiting for Bitcoin to make the flavorous move. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 25 seconds. Man, my heart is starting to race because it is literally a coin toss right now, waiting for that flavor to come into the chart. How many of you are at suspense right now, waiting to see if they're going to bring price higher or lower? Are we going to see the recovery of the wick? Are they going to reject the VWAP right now? Is Powell going to... Here we go. We've got some movement. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. 3 p.m. on the nose. What's he going to say? Here we go. Liquidity down here. 21.9. Are they going to take it? Dixie's moving up, ladies and gentlemen. 104.35. We want to see the 104.500 if it's committed. Price is holding out here. NASDAQ's taking a nosedive, coming down and giving back all of those gains. The market does not like what they're hearing right now. Let's see what's going on. He's not even saying anything. Bitcoin's coming down, recovering that vector candle on the green on the 1 minute time frame. NASDAQ getting ready to break 900. Oh, they've canceled some orders down at 21,800 right there. Here we go. Dixie's moving up. 104,500 in sight. Here we go. Bitcoin's doing really well to hold, but it might be last to move. I need to see NASDAQ. NASDAQ is making them pay the price. Where we got? Come on, Tino. Where you at with your charts? What you got there? Here we go. What's the dollar saying? US 30 takes a nosedive. That's not good. Okay, Bitcoin's going to tank. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin makes the move. Where we at? Here we go. US 30's taking a nosedive. Dixie's going to the moon right there. Bitcoin's coming close to that 21,800 zone. NASDAQ has completely ripped the range, gone back down into value. Bitcoin is down at the psychological low, getting ready to eat the liquidity down at the vector candle zones right there that we spoke about, 21,140. Dollar is going back up, recovering those vector candles we spoke about. I want to see the 21,900. Otherwise, this could be a skanky reversal point. So just be very careful here. Here we go. Big delta coming into the chart. Man, I've got to make a move, ladies and gentlemen. Dominance of the dollar is shooting up. We've got to wait to see if this turns into a green vector candle. If it does, then they could reverse it back down again. So we've got to be careful. NASDAQ's taking a dump. Powell, what's he saying? Give me some flavor on Powell. Powell, where you at? Powell. I needed to have Powell up. What's he saying? Give me some flavor. What have you got for me? All right, then. News. What's he said? Fed is prepared to speed up the rate rises if warranted by data. Again, data-driven marketplace, ladies and gentlemen. This is the problem we've got, okay? Now, if we get the CPI data coming out, then this move to the downside is going to continuously drop. Tomorrow, job openings are going to suggest what? They're going to suggest that more people could be in work. If there are less people being offered employment, that could give the marketplace a little bit of a breather to come back up. NASDAQ's taken an absolute dump to the downside. Bitcoin is delayed in its response, and Bitcoin will be moving. So you've got to sit tight. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on the dominance of the dollar. Bitcoin coming closer and closer. 1,115 Bitcoin orders at 21,870. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. You've got to be very mindful here. Let me just bring this up. All right? I've got to go and get my daughter. But if you are new to the channel, welcome back. Or to my pattern watchers, welcome back to the New York live streams. This is a snippet of what we're normally going to be doing every single day, 2 p.m. GMT. So, I hope you've enjoyed yourself, guys. Please trade carefully. Let Powell finish off what he's been saying. If you're going to look for the V-shaped plays, trade those with caution. And I'll be checking in with you guys later on. Mad love and respect. Take care of yourselves. Peace.